How is it now? Can you hear me now? I was muted. Welcome in, guys. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing today? This is the weekly Q&A. We have opened it up to everybody. So typically this happens in the High Priestess Tarot School. Thanks, Vanessa. However, about once a month, I usually choose to open it up to the public. So we're streaming live right now on the Facebook page and in the YouTube. So I'd love to hear any questions that you guys have. We only have a couple pre-submitted questions. So if you have one, please go ahead and drop it in the chat. Send a little wave, let me know that you're here. I noticed that, Vanessa, you're watching on YouTube and that comment is going through fine. Let me just check Facebook and make sure I'm seeing the comments from over there. So if you're watching on Facebook, send a little wave, let me know. And then I'll know that the comments are working from Facebook too. Oh, there we go. There's Maida on Facebook. Good to see you, Maida. How are you today? So anyway, like I said, we do this definitely every other week in the High Priestess Tarot School, but I try to do every week in the High Priestess Tarot School. And last week was so juicy. We had so many amazing questions last week. We had some great discussions happening. So anyway, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them. I am just going to pull, I have the link already, so that's good. I'm just going to pull out any questions that we have, and we're going to get started with the pre-submitted questions. And then I'll move to one of you guys live. Okay, so Dawn asks, what are some ideas or suggestions for a good prayer, invocation to protect your space and connect with your deck and keep your client protected? This is such a great question. All right, so I personally kind of do this sort of adapted thing. So when I get a brand new deck, I kind of use Rebecca Campbell's technique where you take your deck. I figure since I'm showing Rebecca Campbell, let's grab one of her decks. So you take the deck and you put it in your hands and you put it up to your heart space. And this is kind of how I bless my deck, but you could do this before a reading as well. And then basically I feel my heart opening and I feel myself sort of sharing energy with the deck. Rebecca Campbell says to like view your heart like a rose that's opening. So sometimes I do that too. But it's really just kind of all about surrounding the deck with your energy and love and light. And I always set an intention. So that could look something along the lines of, may this deck bring guidance and insight of the highest love and light. And you can do kind of the same thing when you're opening up a reading, like prior to the client jumping on. Another really great thing to do, if truly anything, Dawn, and I know I kind of discussed this before, but like it's all about intention, action, belief, right? So what intention do you want to set? Any action, believing that it works. So when it comes to protecting your space, connecting with your deck, and keeping your client protected, you could do those separately. You could do an invocation to protect your space. I personally like to use room spray. So you just kind of set an intention. I intend to clear the energy. You spray the room spray. So it's always intention, action, belief. So you can use room spray. You can use energy. You can set intentions and that sort of thing. So when it comes to protection, I like white light energy for protection. And guys, if you have something that you use specifically, please feel free to share it in the chat. And we can kind of share different ideas. But I think the bottom line is there's no right or wrong. Whatever feels good for you in your practice. For protection, I like white light. You can set an intention prior to starting your reading to protect your client's energy as well. But yeah, there's no wrong way. That's the thing when it comes to intuitive practices. It's whatever works best for you. What feels good for you? What works best for you? what connects with you the most. The way that I do it feels really great for me, but it might not feel right for somebody else. So allow yourself to like experiment with different ways, different blessings. Maybe it's using some sort of a smudge. Maybe it is using room spray like I do. Maybe it's infusing it with energy. Maybe it's having a selenite wand that you put over your deck or over yourself. And, maybe it's keeping a specific crystal nearby. All of those are perfectly great, and it's all up to you. Just remember intention. That's the most important part. Okay, anybody else have any questions, guys? Okay, so Julia asks, when using the Canva website templates you shared, so she's talking about the Canva website templates in Prosperous Priestess Path, and changing the colors like you demonstrated, what type of Canva membership is needed to be able to change the colors? So you should be able to change colors in Canva with the free account. You shouldn't need the pro account for color changing. And then she says, and can the templates be used with any website being created, or is this strictly available if one only uses the Canva website option? So I have had some students take and create in Canva and then download it as a single image, and then they put it on a website, but you would still have to add invisible anchor points for your links if you do that. So that is a possibility. A lot of website developers have easy like drag and drop. And then if you, for example, I use Wix for my website. If you wanted to do that, then I would just suggest using like the layout as a guide. You could even use elements from the layout to sort of add them to images in a separate file and then upload those to your website. However, the point of the Canva websites is to get something up easy, quickly, that you can use to share your links. That it's better than a link tree because it's got marketing language behind it. It's got a little bit more branding than you can do like on a link tree. But it's quick and it's easy. You can get it done in an hour, and you can be sharing your links with people, and they could be scheduling behind the scenes with your Calendly without you having to go back and forth, without you collecting payment, without a bunch of links being exchanged. It's just a quick and easy way. So if you're planning on building a bigger website like Wix or something like that, my recommendation is to create the Canva website so that you have something to use while you're building your bigger website. How are you guys doing? Any questions? Vanessa asked, I just heard that some card readers, spiritual coaches, mentors, psychic mediums suggest getting liability insurance. What are your thoughts on this? Well, I can't give legal advice, but liability insurance protects you from getting sued. So that's definitely something you'll have to consider. In your business, whether you're just opening or whether you've been in business for a while. Liability insurance, whether it's with your business or with your personal, it can be a really important part of protecting your assets. So definitely something to look into if that's something that concerns you. And yeah, like I said, I'm just not qualified to give legal advice. Alrighty. Are there any other questions, guys? I think that's everything that was on my list for today. I have an exciting announcement today, too. Yvette asked what kind of liability insurance. Specifically, Vanessa was asking about business liability insurance. Some things, too, that can help protect you are disclaimers. Can help. with things like that when it comes to reading. So, for example, on my TikTok for a long time, I said for entertainment purposes only in my actual bio. But yeah, that's definitely something that you would want to look into if that's something that yeah, if that's something that's relevant for you and your business. Okay, so any other questions, guys? I'm going to go ahead and do my announcement since I don't have any current questions. On 11/11, I have a special surprise, and that is a flash opening of the Tarot Practice Academy. I'm so excited. It has been closed for a few months now, and we're so excited to welcome some new people in. So the Tarot Practice Academy is it's so funny because when I created it, all it was some tarot practice sessions. So when I opened the High Priestess Tarot School, which has been almost 2 years now, I knew that the fastest way to learn and the best way to learn was through practice. And I was like, well, why don't I host tarot practice sessions? I couldn't do it in the High Priestess Tarot School at that price point, but I was like, I will open up a second tier of my membership and I will offer these tarot practice sessions so people can get practice. I offered the spreads, the weekly spreads, and the sessions, and it's been amazing. And it's grown so much because I'd say about a year ago, I started offering business modules, business training. We just recently added business feedback and certification. We added a little bit ago as well. So we added certification, business training, business feedback, strategy, all of that sort of thing. And just the other day, I unveiled the Resource Vault. So I'm curious, have you guys all had a chance to get into the Resource Vault? I'm hoping I'm getting all of the messages here. I'm going to check on Facebook real quick just to make sure all the messages are coming through. Can you guys still see me and hear me on Facebook? I've also had problems with StreamYard and Facebook integration. I'm not even seeing my live. Oh, there we go. I think I found it. Hi, Maddie. How are you doing? Okay, I have that open too, just in case. Okay, so we were kind of talking about the vault, and I wanted to give you guys a little. Has everybody had a chance to check out the vault yet? Are there any questions on the vault? So the Resource Vault has currently 25 resources. We'll go to Spiritual Business because that has the most resources. And so there's all of these great templates, worksheets, spreads. You've got the Tarot Reader Code of Ethics in here, Client Attraction Checklist. We've got lots of mock-ups. So you guys have access to the Tarot Reader mock-up bundle, both of the Halloween mock-ups and the fall mock-ups, which are really, really awesome when it comes to advertising and marketing your services. So I tend to use these. I actually even have an ad that I run that I'm using one of these mock-ups. I'll show you guys. Hopefully it'll open the PNGs. And so each of these has around 30 mock-ups in them. Nope, it didn't work. You can use them on Canva. I even have little windows so you can put your own cards in there, or you can use the photos as is in your marketing, which is really cool. Thanks, Jean. And so yes, this was just added a few days ago. We have a couple spreads packs in here, but this is a growing resource vault, and we will definitely have more of my spread packs added in here soon. In addition, we have the Guiding Lights at Self-Evaluation, which is awesome. And it's really there to help you do self-evaluations to see where you'd like to improve within your tarot readings. This can help you really kind of steer yourself in the right direction when it comes to your readings. Sometimes I feel like at least I get a little complacent with myself. Like, yeah, it's good enough. And so it can be really great to do that self-evaluation after you're done with every reading so you can see where you'd like to improve. We've got the symbolism journal. We've got the astrology log. This is really cool. It's got weekly pages and monthly pages for daily astrology. And let's see, we have a lot of oracle cards too. Oracle cards and affirmation cards. We've got the elemental oracle cards. We've got the badass manifester cards. Let's see. Lots of templates. We've got the free to booked, turn free readings into testimonials, tarot client attraction posts. Lots of cool things in here, guys. Also, just so you know, you can request a resource. So feel free to come in here and request a resource if there's something that you would like to see in the vault. And we'll be adding some every single month. So that can give me an idea as to what you guys need me to create as well. Nettie says, I'm still finding my way through the site. I did look at the 5-day challenge yesterday. I'm just so time limited. Yeah, I totally get it. I'll try to dig into it more today. You know, one of the things I like most about how I've structured things is it really is work at your own pace. So you don't have to worry about keeping up with, you know, a schedule. You don't have to worry about being here at a specific time. Obviously, the tarot practice sessions are time-based, but if they don't fit into your schedule, that totally makes sense as well. But there's nothing that depends on you showing up at a certain time or having done something done in a certain time frame. So it really is good for people who like to work at their own pace. You're so welcome, Jean. Hi, Joe. How's it going? All right. Any more questions, guys? Hi, Eric. I'll just wait a couple more minutes just in case anybody has any questions. Oh, no worries, Eric. So glad that you're here. I'm doing so good. Thanks, Maida. How are you doing today? Alrighty, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to jump off of here. Have a great rest of your day. And by the way, I do this every week. You can feel free to leave your questions in the High Priestess Tarot School. There is always pinned to the featured section the Q&A. All you have to do is leave your comment here. And as I go through and I answer the questions, I actually tag you in the specific video and I tell you the timestamp where you can find your answer, your specific answer. And the reason why I do this is so that just in case you have any questions outside of the Q&A time, you can always ask them. Also, if you're not able to show up live, you don't have to worry, your question will still be asked and answered, and then you can always come back to it later. Eric says, what does it mean if seeing shapes of dragons everywhere? Well, I mean, I think that you might want to look up the spiritual meaning of dragons. You can do that through Google, Eric. And when I'm looking at things like that, so let's say you see a specific bird uh, multiple times in a day, or you're seeing dragons everywhere, or there's some sort of symbology coming up for you, even like repeating numbers like 1111 or 222, whatever. Um, yes, we can look it up and see what we find, see if that resonates with us. But the most important thing is, what does it mean to you? My relationship with a dragon is different than somebody else's relationship with a dragon. So maybe you see dragons as a simple symbol of power and strength, and you're being invited into um, exhibiting those in some sort of situation in your life. Maybe you've been feeling a little bit walked over at work, for example, and you're seeing it to remind you to be powerful and strong and to, you know, maybe report the person or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you see it as magical and fantasy, and so you're being invited into sort of more imagination and fantasy and things like that. So depending on your relationship with dragons is going to depend on what it means for you. So I think one of the best ways to really explore those things, first off, is to keep an intuition journal. An intuition journal is going to help you collect all of those different things and help you kind of analyze it later. So you could just keep a journal page for every single day, preferably something small enough where you could take it with you, and then jot down everything. Did you have an intuitive insight? Did you see repeating numbers? Are you seeing a sign or a symbol that keeps repeating? Jot it down. Also, jot down what you are doing. So, when you're seeing dragons everywhere, is there something similar about what you're doing at all of those times? Because it could have to do with what you're doing or what you were thinking about at that time as well. So, when you jot down what you were doing, what you were thinking about when that sign showed up, and then you do this over a number of days, you can start to see patterns as well. So I definitely recommend keeping an intuition journal, asking yourself what it means for you, and having fun with it, right? I think things like that are just so fun, and our intuition speaks with us in so many different ways. Signs and symbols is just one of those ways, right? Any other questions? Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna jump off of here. Thanks for being here with me today, and I will see you guys next week.